Hey guys, how did you like the intro? It was made with a combination of some shots taken from Asus ROG 2 and some shots taken from my mirrorless camera. Now the question which we are about to answer here is, it's 2020 already, January is already gone. Is Asus ROG 2 mobile the very mighty beast, the best in the world, known as the best gaming mobile in the world, worth the money in 2020? And is it worth for every other user apart from normal or casual or any other user which is non-gamer? Well, one thing is for sure, if you are a gamer, this is the best option right now, hands down. You see this beautiful light. First of all, that is a thing which makes this mobile unique whenever you are holding. Like, for example, I make a call or a call is coming to me and I'm holding like this, and this is very visible outside. I mean, people will look at you, they will ask you what's in your hand. So yeah, it's an attraction grabber, it's an attraction seeker, and why not? I mean, it looks beautiful. It doesn't look excess or anything out of the place. It's unique, it's one of its kind, it looks beautiful. So I will try to divide this section based upon what you should expect from day-to-day life. Is it worth for day-to-day life for every other individual who is even a casual or a non-gamer? Now, before I go into depth of each and every component which I am going to describe here, let's take away the unique selling points which this phone has to offer. And so the first feature which I would like to talk about is UFS 3.0, which, trust me guys, not a lot of phones, even the likes of very big brands, even they don't offer right now. UFS 3.0 is way faster than UFS 2.1 or 2.0, which means that you will get faster transfer speeds, faster load up of apps, games. When you are trying to transfer from your mobile to your PC, if it has SSD, you can utilize that faster bandwidth. Now coming to the second point, which is the ultrasonic air triggers which they have provided on the sides of their phone, which I don't think so any other phones at this scale is providing right now, which is very great for gaming. And they are pressure sensitive also. I mean, based on how much pressure you apply, you can modify that in the settings. Now coming to the third point, which is the highlight, and which is 120Hz 10-bit HDR Super AMOLED display. This is again guys, Asus is the first one in the world to offer 120Hz refresh rate on an AMOLED panel, and the display looks great, which I will talk about in a bit later. Coming to the fourth point, which is the cooling. There are a lot of cooling vents and technology is going inside, and one of it is 3D cooling chamber. And think of it as a 2 copper layers which has actual vapors inside it, which kind of takes away the heat and transmits it out using the copper, and so we call it 3D cooling chamber. Now coming to the fifth point, which is it uses Corning Gorilla Glass 6. So yes, your screen is protected with the tough Gorilla Glass protection, and you will not get easily scratches on your harsh gaming sessions. Now coming to the point 7, it has 2 vibration motors for really good haptic feedback and while playing games or while incoming calls. So good stuff there. And coming to the 8th point, which is FM radio, which is oftenly missed by the mobile manufacturers. These days you have to go to the custom third-party softwares. I mean, trust me, it's to 2020, but still a lot of people love FM, and including that on the way, on the go, in the stock mobile is a good feature. So FM radio, obviously you have to plug in the jack to get it working. Now coming to the next point, it uses quad microphone sensors for noise cancellations. So it has 2 microphones on the bottom, one on the side, one on the top, so that while using it outside, noise cancellation isn't checked. Oh. On the side, next feature is on the side, it has USB-C port for charging while using it as a landscape. So it's a great feature, and it comes in very handy when you don't want to let your phone go even while it's discharged and you still want to continue playing maybe movie or game. So plugging a phone on the side with USB-C, great idea. And the last thing is that it has clean UI, which is bloatware free, so that your phone runs almost as similar as a stock Android and is faster and snap. Now let's talk about a few of the cons which I felt while using it. the size is really big because of those chins on the top and bottom. So while you are keeping it inside your pocket, it sticks out and it feels a bit uncomfortable in the first beginning few weeks, but after you keep using it, you will get accustomed to it. But size is big and the phone is a bit heavy. It's on a heavier side, so that might be a new experience which you have to adapt. So coming to the second biggest con, which is camera performance at the night. Now since this phone doesn't has optical image stabilization in its sensors, so it relies upon electronic image stabilization, which doesn't work the best in the night for these sensors, we all know. So you'll get a bit of choppy videos when you are trying to hit it in some harsh lighting conditions, and photos might be a bit blurry at times when you shake it because there is no optical image stabilization sensor to compensate for that. So this is something which you need to keep in mind, but anyhow, it performs really good in night. It's just that you feel something more of a demanding in night. But remember guys, in no way I'm saying that it takes bad photos or bad videos at night. It's just that it struggles in really harsh conditions. Now coming to the third con, their updates, they are a bit slow on updates. Android 10 is already out and running in few of the phones, and they are still running it as beta in very few selected phones. So updates is where they are a bit slow, but eventually they'll get there, so not a very big con, but still worth mentioning. Fourth con is the time it takes to charge. Now it's not really a con, but for people who have been working with the phones with very quick charging, this is a big smartphone battery. It's 6000 mAh, so it takes around 2.5 hours to fully charge, which might be a big deal for you if you are accustomed to charging on the go, but you can purchase even fast charger at a separate price. But once it charges, it goes on and on. Now the last con I would like to say is that there is no certification of IP rating or waterproofing or whatever whatsoever. It's just doesn't mention anything. So you have to be careful while using it around water. Don't try to put in too much of the splashes, and definitely not submerge it, definitely, and don't use it in the rain. So that is something which is worth mentioning as a con. So let's talk about the day-to-day usage. First of all, what's the basic purpose of mobile, which is to make calls, to use your internet, and let me tell you, it has 4 Wi-Fi antenna bands all around its mobile, so that in whatever mode you use, landscape or portrait, it will work flawlessly. I mean, it is supposed to work better, and it does work better. I have checked the reception with my LG V30 Plus, which I used to own way back, and the reception is better in Wi-Fi, and the reception is better in the normal mobile LTE or Volt or the normal 4G Plus. Now coming to the second part, it's a mobile, and it is supposed to be mobile without depending upon any other wires, antennas or anything, and so the battery, it works. It's not just for the specs sake. They have mentioned 6000 mAh. It is 6000 mAh. It lasts long. Trust me on that. It is, I think, one of the best mobile phones in the world right now, which offers such a utility at such a great price, at such a big battery backup. So battery wise, it easily lasts 7 to 8 hours of on-screen time if you are even doing a casual gaming. I mean, I have received on an average of 7 hours, and I do a little bit of camera work, a little bit of editing. I mean, not a lot of it, sometimes a bit of gaming, and a lot of web browsing, a lot of apps browsing, lot of YouTube watching. So these all things are covered, and you will get 7 hours of average screen on time, which is a lot. And if you're a casual user, expect to charge your mobile the next day, if not the end of next day, the mid of next day, but not before the morning. I mean, it will last you, short and simple. So battery wise, excellent, no other competition. Now coming to the third thing, which is, I mean, lot of people and lot of marketing people around the world and everything, they just push upon a spec. But the most important thing for a mobile is how you interact with your mobile, which is its a screen. Its a screen is the interface which will either enhance your experience with the mobile or it will decrease your experience. And 120 Hz in an AMOLED panel was first of its kind. No other mobile in the world offers that spec sheet at full HD plus resolution, to be precise. and it's fluid. OnePlus calls it's fluid. It was 90 fps. It's even more fluid. It's 120 fps, and it does make a difference. You are accustomed to using 60 fps screen, which I was also. So the color accuracy, the color calibration is perfect, and you can increase or decrease the saturation. There are a lot of options to do that. You are into optimal mode, saturated mode, natural mode, cinematic, and a lot of things you can do on this screen. So that is why this 13-inch screen, it makes sense and it's good. Now coming to the fourth thing, which is the processing power. I mean, it should be the first point which people usually talk about, but I'm talking fourth because processing power is usually making a difference most of the time when we are pushing it to extremes. For normal day-to-day use, even other processors, they just compensate very good, if not the best. So processing wise, it has 855. It's plus Snapdragon, which was the best of its time. Now 865 is launched, and a lot of mobiles very soon will be coming with that, but it doesn't matter, trust me guys. Running behind the spec sheet is not the way how the things should actually be taken. 855 plus is good enough for coming next 2 years at least for almost every individual, not the very extreme power users, forget about them. 855 plus Snapdragon had around 15% improvement over 855 and a little bit 4 or 5% in other X segment. I mean, the 15% was in the GPU segment. So processing wise, it has enough juice in it, and 8GB RAM, 128GB RAM memory is more than enough for most people. If you want more, you have to pay a lot extra price, and I see this was a very bold move, was an excellent move by Asus to give a bit subsidized, a bit cheaper version of its extreme variant. I mean, 8GB 128 is more than enough for most people in today's world. So if you don't want to spend extra money, 12GB 512GB variant is like, it's far away. Ignore that.